Hey guys, Matt here again with another What's Sold on eBay video. And hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. If you're in the States, hopefully you're having a good holiday. If you're not in the States, hopefully you're just having a good Monday. But yeah, we're here with another What's Sold on eBay video. And like always, I like to start these videos out with what I picked up the day of the video. And for this will be also a few pickups from over the weekend. Hopefully you guys had a good yard sailing weekend. I did. I got a lot of stuff. Nothing, a couple of big items, but a lot of small items. A lot of things that are going to be quick flips, things that'll make me a lot of money. So I guess we'll start off with that. A few of the things that I picked up this weekend. This, first off, is a Sony Handycam. Guy had wanted $25 for this. It came with the box. As you can see there, the manual, the Handycam itself, the charger, a nice Sony bag. So this is a nice little setup. He wanted 25 bucks. It was maybe 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was closing at 12. And I said, "We take 10 for this?" And he said, "Sure." So nice little Sony Handycam, and I've got it listed for $89.95. So $10 into $89.95, not bad. Next, this was a good. This is probably the best pickup from the weekend. This is an Epson high definition photo inkjet printer. It was brand new in the box, never been opened, and it was again another yard sale, middle of the afternoon. I don't know how this stuff makes it by people. I don't. It blows my mind. But this was definitely not first thing in the morning. This was in the middle of the afternoon, and they had a sticker, $20 sticker on it. I asked the lady. I said, "Hey, will you take $10 for this printer?" And she said, "Well, it's brand new. We've never used it." She said, "How about 15?" And I said, "Sure, that sounds good." And sure enough, 15 bucks, and I've listed it for $159.95. So that should sell pretty quickly for that price. Nice little turnaround there. Not too bad. All right, this I picked up today at my favorite place, St. Vincent de Paul. It's just a Brother, Daisy wheel portable typewriter, GX 6750. This was $6, so not too bad, and we're going to sell it for $49.95. Tested it out; all the keys work good. It's got a ribbon in there that works well. So yeah, not too bad. It weighs about 13 pounds. Won't be too hard to ship, but pretty easy. All right, we got a couple of things also for the collection. I also, if you do not know, I also collect video games. It's kind of the reason eBay started for me was I was trying to collect video games, and it's very expensive to buy video games. So I was finding other stuff out there at the garage sales that I could flip to spend some of that money on a video game collection. So that's what I guess the main goal for me is. But here's a few pickups from this weekend. Got some decent scores from one place, and I'll tell you a good story about it. But this is the first one. We got Zelda on the SNES, A Link to the Past. Very clean. The label is, as a collector, the label is really what you're looking for, that it's not all scratched up or ripped or torn or peeled off or anything. So it's got a nice label on it. So that'll look really good in the collection. And the best pickup this is both from a yard sale. The best pickup is this NES game. It's called Widget. I've never heard of it. I didn't know about it when I was at the yard sale. But again, nice label. This one I think I'm going to actually flip because it's pretty expensive. This is about $40 or $50 just as the cartridge. It's about a $40 or $50 game. So the story is, went to a yard sale, asked the guy, I think they had one Xbox game out there. It was middle of the afternoon again. And he said, I asked him, I said, do you have any other video game stuff? And he said, yeah, we have a Sega and a Nintendo, but the old lady doesn't want to sell it. And I said, oh, okay. So, well, are you sure, for the right price, would, maybe I could just look at it? Or he said, well, let me go ask the old lady. He kept saying the old lady, and I thought he meant his wife. So he goes and he asks the old lady. He comes back. He said, well, the old lady says, she'd be willing to part with the Sega. And I said, okay, that sounds good. So he said, well, I'll go in and get it, and you can take a look at it. Goes in and gets a Sega. Comes out, few games in a Sega system. I said, yeah, I'll take all this, stuff to add to my collection. No problem. He said, well, okay. I said, are you sure you don't, that she won't part with the Nintendo? And he said, well, you can ask her. She's kind of a tough old bird, but you can ask her. She's on the front porch. So take these games up to her, find out what she wants for them, and you can ask her. So I go up to the front porch, and again, I'm thinking this whole time, I'm thinking the old lady meant wife. Turns out it was grandma. Grandma on the front porch in a rocking chair. the video games, all the video game stuff was hers, and she was very, very attached to them. So I went up there, I'm like, try to do a little smooth talking, and to my surprise, she actually let me go down in the basement. She said, "Oh, you can go down in the basement and look at the stuff. I'm not really wanting to sell the Nintendo stuff, but you can look at it and, bring what you want up here, and I'll tell you if I'll sell it to you." So that's just what I did. I went down there. She had a lot of good stuff. Like I said, I just showed you a couple of things that I got from her, but she had I had a whole stack of games, and she was, totally cool with it. Turns out that she really only wanted to keep one game. Unfortunately, the one game she wanted to keep, she was going through the games. I had a stack. She's going through the games, I thought she might want to keep Zelda, because that's a pretty popular one. She just was like, yeah, I'll sell you this, and a bunch of other ones. She got to this one title. It's called Fire and Ice for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's just an NES game. I've never heard of it. That's why I put it in there. I don't have it for my collection. But when she picked it up, her face just lit up. She's like, "Oh, this is a great game. Have you ever played it?" I said, "No, I never played it, but I really, I'm hoping to try it out, It was the one game she would not sell. And at the time, I didn't know anything about this game. So I was just like, okay, I felt pretty good. I got this whole stack of games. She didn't want to sell anything, but it turns out she sold at least this much. So we're driving, I'm telling my wife about it in the car. And I say, hey, just, out of curiosity, look up this Fire and Ice game. And she looks it up and she goes, "Are you sure it was Fire and Ice?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely sure." And she goes, "Well, that game's selling for about $150, just the cartridge on eBay." I was like, oh, I was defeated at this point. I felt good, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I had like a really rare Nintendo game in my hands, and I could not close the deal. But, but again, I got a couple of nice things for my collection, a bunch of other games for my collection, just, smaller stuff, nothing that's super valuable, but some good ads anyway. And like I said, I'm going to flip that widget. I paid $30 for a whole stack of games and a Sega system and a bunch of Sega games. So I got a really good deal, and I'll flip the widget game and get that back plus some. So pretty happy about that. But that's the way the game works is, you pay $30, you flip one part of it, you get that money back. So I've got a bunch of stuff into my collection for free, essentially. And then the last thing I picked up was, I picked this up today, if you guys can see here. It's like a Sony radio here, and I kind of wanted it from my office, but I paid $8 for that, and upon further inspection, when I got it home and plugged it in, it does not work. Like, it turns on, but it just doesn't, none of the buttons on the front work, the controller won't work it, so it's the only thing it'll do. It's like stuck in iPod mode, and I can put an iPod and it'll turn on and it'll play. The iPod, I can't adjust the volume or do anything. So it was, like I said, $8, but not a total loss, because I'll just sell the speakers, the pair of speakers. The speakers work great. Those speakers as a pair sell for $40 or $50, and then also had the remote, and the remote will sell for $10 or $12. So I'll easily get my money back. It's just unfortunate I was going to have it as like my office radio, but now I'll just flip it and try to again keep looking for another one. So that's what we picked up over the weekend. And also today, those were our finds. So let's actually get into what we sold on eBay. Now this is from August 28th until now. So about 6 days. And I think I have about 24 items here. So I'll try to get through these very quickly. I'll tell you if I can remember where I got it from, how much I paid, how long it took to flip, and you'll see how much we got for it. So right here we've got a phone system. This is a Panasonic. I buy a lot of phone systems, flip a lot of phones. Sometimes I sell them as a whole set. Sometimes I sell them just like this. This is just one phone, one main base. I have probably $2 into this, and there were other parts to this Panasonic set. There was another phone, another charger base that are all being sold separately. But this particular part of it sold for $17.95. Got this from St. Vincent de Paul. Like I said, maybe have $2 into the whole system, $3 into the whole system. So maybe $1 into this particular part of it. And we sold it for $17.95 plus shipping. And it didn't take, these don't take long. Usually about a week or so, and off they go. Alright. Now, this video is going to have a lot of highs and a lot of lows, some of which we've already experienced. The high is I was able to convince Grandma to sell me some of her game stuff. The low was I didn't get the most expensive game that she had, the most rare game that I, at that time, didn't know. Also, the what's sold is going to have a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and this is one of the highs. This is a Magnavox DVD VCR combo. I got this, I would say about 3 weeks. I had this for about 3 weeks or a month because I was asking for quite a bit of money for it. But I went to an estate sale, and if you guys know how estate sales goes, usually when you get there and there's a huge line if you don't get there early, and it's hard to get, for me, it's hard to get the best stuff, I feel like, because I'm always like last in line. But went to this estate sale, and it wasn't actually run by a company. It was just like the two daughters were selling their parents' stuff that they had passed away. So it was at their house. It was pouring down rain this day, so maybe that kept some people away. But we got there at 9:45, totally expecting there to be a line, even though it was rainy. And sure enough, we get there, and the ladies were like, "Oh, you're the very first people here. We're really glad you came. Have a look around." And they had one room full of stuff, and then the other rooms had like furniture and clothes and stuff. But this was one of the things that we picked up at this estate sale. Again, this was brand new in the box. Here's a picture of it. All they did was open this box to see what was inside, and then that was it. So this stuff was still sealed, brand new in the box. Again, DVD, VHS combo. What makes this one special is you can actually record VHS to DVD on this, so that's why it makes it so expensive. I think I paid about $10 for this. We had a whole pile of stuff. We paid $20 for a couple pairs of shoes, some cassettes, some sealed cassettes in this Magna box. So I have about $10 into this, and we sold it for $375 even, with free shipping, and I think the shipping was about $25. So a really, really nice. This was my best flip ever. This is, I think, the profit after the wife ran the numbers ended up being like $310 profit. So a really, really, really nice score, and the best score that I've had in the 2 months that I've been selling. So there's the high. We're at the top of the roller coaster, but we're going downhill soon enough. All right. Again, sealed media, not much to say about this. I bought all three of these for $1 at a yard sale, and I sold them for $6.95 plus shipping. So not a whole lot there, but again, I'm a new seller, so building feedback is really important for me. So sometimes I'll buy things even though they don't have a whole, like video games and stuff. I can test those things, and there's really not a whole lot of that can go wrong with that, especially like and stuff like this, like sealed media, cassettes, VHS tapes, things like that. Not a whole lot of profit here. But if you're a new seller and it's hard to build feedback, it's hard to get people to leave feedback. So sometimes I'll buy things just because I know they'll sell, and it's not necessarily for the profit. It's more for hoping to get a feedback from it. And that's exactly what happened here. I mean, it's sealed media, so, I had this for maybe a week, and it sold for $6.95, and I paid $1 for it. So, as you can see, 2 pictures, easy to list, and I'm pretty sure they left feedback. So it did exactly. It served its purpose, so that's good. All right, another good story here. This is a Dymo label, like a thermal printer, label printer. Picked this up for $50. We were meeting somebody from Facebook Marketplace to buy a scale, a digital scale. I was using like a food scale for the first like month that I was in business, and I was like, well, I really need a better scale than this. So we got a digital scale off somebody off of Facebook Marketplace, and we're driving to meet the person, and my wife said, "Oh, this guy's also selling a printer, like a thermal printer, and he wants $100 for it." And I was like, "Well, look it up and see what it goes for on eBay." And she looked it up and she goes, "Oh, they sell for about $150." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, when we get here, I'll ask the guy if he has it with him. If he does, I'll try to buy it off him for like $50." And that's exactly how it went down. I bought the scale for like $10, and then I just asked the guy, "Hey, I saw you have a printer as well, a thermal printer for sale. Do you have it with you?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got it with me." I said, "Is it, you haven't sold it yet?" And he goes, "No, it's not sold yet." And I said, "Well," "What do you want for it?" And he goes, "Well, I got it listed for $100." I said, "Well, I'm here. I'm here right now. I've got cash. I'll give you $50 for it." And he was like, he thought for a second. He was like, "Yeah, okay, that sounds good." So I gave him $60 for the scale and this thermal printer. Then I took this thermal printer, put it on eBay, and we sold it for $149.95. So, I mean, you just got to be, this is kind of like the next level of things. You just got to be thinking ahead. You know what I mean? If my wife wouldn't have mentioned this to me that he had this, I wouldn't have known. But right when she did, I was like, "Oh, I know, a lot of people use these things, and I think they have some value." So there we are. So a nice little score there when, we were just out buying stuff anyway. All right, guys, here we are at the bottom of the roller coaster hill. The lowest of the lows here. This is a Sony DVD VCR combo. This is a really nice set. I bought this at a yard sale for $15. The guy wanted $40. I got it for $15, so I was pretty happy about this. Brought it home, tested it. You can see the pictures here. Tested great. And I was really excited because this is a pretty nice DVD VCR. It's a Sony one. So I sold this for $140 plus shipping. Shipped it out. I mean, did the best that I could packaging the thing, and it gets to the guy, and the guy immediately requests a return, and he leaves a message saying, open the box, and the little, I guess this little faceplate there on the bottom was completely shattered. So I was pretty bummed out. This is the very first thing that I've ever had returned broken. I had some printer ink returned before because the lady bought a different printer, so she didn't need the ink that she bought off me, so she returned that. Wasn't anything wrong with it. This is my first return broken item. So, super bummed out that this is now apparently broken. It's actually this just happened over the weekend, actually yesterday. So it's supposed to be coming back to me. Again, I mean, I have a pretty good setup because I get shipping supplies for really nothing, like packing pillows and boxes and stuff. I don't have to pay for that stuff. I used to work at a hospital in the shipping and receiving department, and I still keep in touch with those guys. They're still friends of mine. So when I started this business, I hit them up and said, hey, you guys got a bunch of packing and pillows and stuff that they don't use. They just throw that stuff away. I said, could you save it for me? I'm going to need a lot of it. And they were like, sure. So they save it for me. I go there, I pick it up with some boxes and stuff. So it's a really nice setup. The reason I'm telling you this is when I package stuff, I really pack it heavy. I overpack stuff. And I put a ton of these pillows in there with bubble wrap, and I mean, this is $140 DVD VCR combo. So obviously, I think on this box I wrote fragile like 8 times, and I know that doesn't really help much, but I prayed that it got to where it was supposed to get to in good shape, and apparently it did not. So this is coming back to me. This is a return. This is being returned to me. So we'll see. I mean, it's not a total loss, just that I paid $15 for this, and then I had to pay $16 for return shipping. But that remote on top there, if this is a busted unit, that remote on top, it will sell for probably $15 or $20 itself. So it's not a total loss. And again, when I get it, I'm going to look at this plate and see if maybe I can resell this thing just as a broken plate. Put that in the listing, and maybe and I'll have to sell it for a lot cheaper than $140. But I'm trying to find the silver lining in this. Was like my first return, so this hit me really hard. Like I was pretty bummed out all night, and sad times. But that's the highest of the highs. We sold our best item, made the most profit. The lowest of the lows, we got our first return for something being broken. And I sell a lot of electronics, and I know that's part of the game. It's just it's a very volatile category to sell in, and I understand this, but it was just sad. I was sad. Still am. All right, like I said, I sold a box of ink to a lady, a 2-pack of ink. She got it. She opened it up. And then she realized that she wanted to get a new printer. She bought a new printer, so she sent me a message and said, hey, I don't need that ink anymore that I bought from you. Can I return it? And I said, sure. She sent me an extra one to make up for the cost difference. But now this is what I was left with, just these bags of ink. And they're still sealed. And they're selling. I've sold 2 of these. You'll see the other one coming up here. But $14.95 for this, plus shipping. And I think I paid for the 2-pack. I paid $2, so I have $1 into this. And I have $14.95. So we're still making money. So not too bad. Alright, next 2 things are both Polaroid Sun 600 cameras. Got $3 into each one of these. And the reason you pick these up is there's a company that buys these immediately when you post them on eBay. These Polaroid Sun 600 and some other Polaroids that they buy. But, yeah, put them on there, and about 5 minutes later, that company, Retrospect, picked them up for $27.99. Both of them, this one and this one. So $6 for both of those, and over $50 in sales. So good. I'll buy those all day long again because they're 2 pictures, because I know it doesn't take more than that, because they'll just buy them right away and out the door they go. All right, here's some retail arbitrage. Picked these up at a local general store or department store, I guess it's called Myers. They sell clothes and toys and groceries and stuff, so it's kind of like a Walmart. But these were on sale for I think $1.90. They were 90% off or something. So these were about $1.90, and I got 2 of them. Sold one for $19.95. So when you're out shopping, if you're going to the grocery store, you're going, wherever you maybe go, swing by the clearance section. Sometimes you can find some decent stuff to resell. All right, another game. You guys know I like to flip video games around here. This is Grand Theft Auto 5. For the Xbox 360, I paid $2 for this, and we sold it for $9.95 plus shipping. Again, just another thing. I have an Xbox 360. I can throw this in, test it. Easy to flip. This sold within hours of posting it. Good feedback builders. I mean, so if you're starting to, if you're a beginner and you're trying to get your shop up and going, this is, flip some smaller stuff, some stuff that's easy, stuff that you can, you'll get 100% feedback on. All right, picked these up at a yard sale. These took about a month to sell, but I knew they would sell because they're black and yellow. They're Pittsburgh Steelers colors, and the football season is upon us. So when I saw these, I'm a diehard Bengals fan, so I didn't even want to get them because the colors are just not good. But for $5, I picked these up for $5 at a yard sale. I think they had 10 on them. I said, we take 5, and they said, sure. They were in really good condition. I don't really buy a whole lot of shoes and flip a whole lot of shoes. I think this might be the only pair of shoes I've ever bought and flipped. But they were like really clean, and the soles look like they hadn't, they don't have any marks like they've been, worn a bunch. So these are pretty clean. And I was forward thinking. I was thinking, man, these are Pittsburgh colors. Immediately, I was like, ugh, look how ugly these shoes are. But I said, I know some Pittsburgh fan will want these for the football season coming up to match with his jersey, his hat. We'll have a nice pair of kicks to go with it. And we sold these for $25.46. They were on sale at a 15% off sale in my store. $25.46. Again, right before football season. So they sold exactly when I thought they were going to. So nice little, $18 profit. All right. One of my favorite things I've sold so far in the last 2 months. I bought a whole bunch of Access and Ally stuff. The rest of it sold in other videos that I showed you guys. This was the last of the lot. There was four lots of it. Paid $1.50 for each lot. This particular one went for $50.96. It was again on sale in my store. These are like the minifigs, but it was just these little figures and map pieces and stuff. Just some kind of like random pieces. And I got $50.96. The other lots sold for one sold for $90, $50, $40. I think one sold for like $80. So on $6 is what I spent total, and I made well over $200 on this Access and Ally stuff. So be on the lookout for that. The board game and the minifigures sell for quite a bit. Sealed media, not much to say about this. $1 or $2 from St. Vincent de Paul's, I'm sure. And we sold it for $16.96. Again, it was on sale in my shop. $16.96 plus shipping. $2 for these. It's just a 5-pack of sealed cassettes. Another one of these Sharp ink cartridges. Again, $1 into that. $14.95. A lens. I got this lens from St. Vincent de Paul. It was, I think, $5. The reason I bought this, some lenses sell for a lot. This one wasn't, the most expensive lens, but I liked it because it had like original box. I don't know, original boxes, kind of touch my heart a bit. I typically look for things with the original packaging box and stuff like that. So this had its original box, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And I paid again $5 for this. We sold it for $24.95. It sold very quickly, so it wasn't a bad flip. But there are some really expensive lenses out there. I haven't found any yet. All right, this is actually a really good one. This is a little like a personal massager, 3-speed. You see these pretty often, and I didn't really know that these had value until I watched. I can't remember whose video I watched, but they had mentioned, oh, I got this massager and it sold for a bunch. I'm like, man, really? Those things sell? And sure enough, I was at St. Vincent de Paul, and this. I think it was listed for $12. They had $12 on it, but it was like half price on electronics and day or something. So if it plugged in, it was 50% off. So I got this for $6. But the funny thing was this was I feel like someone hid this somewhere to like come back and get it, maybe on 50% off day, because it was $12 to begin with. But it was like in the lighting section, so they have a whole section with all the electronics. Well, this was over like in where they had like light bulbs and stuff, like in a bin that had a bunch of light bulbs on top of it. Like where it looked like someone tried to hide it, which definitely happens. People try to hide stuff at the thrift store. You just got to find it. And sure enough, I found this baby. And it was, again, $6. And we sold it for $79.95. Blows my mind. $79.95 for this massager. So keep a lookout for those, I guess. All right. Another Monopoly game. I bought 5 sealed Monopoly games from St. Vincent de Paul for $2 a piece. So I have $2 into this one. I sold this one this week and another one coming up. But this was the most expensive one. This one was $27.95. It sold plus shipping. It's just a Rudolph Monopoly. I mean, you can see 2 pictures, boom, boom, done, sealed. You know, I thought maybe this might sell better around Christmas time, but it sold way before then. So $2 into $27.95 plus shipping, so not bad, easy. All right, a little Sony mini disc. Not much to say about this. I bought this. I think I showed it in a pickup video a few videos back, but it was in a bag with some weird looking Sony speakers, and it had this this Discman and the charger. So I think the bag itself was like $5. So I have like $2.50 into this, and we sold it for $10.95 plus shipping. That just sold a couple days yesterday, I think. So, not, you know, again, this worked fine. Feedback builders, not a whole bunch of money here, but you know, it's a Sony, you know, Discman, so it'll sell. All right, I can't believe that I found another one of these. I wanted to show you guys the other one I found, but this is the second Sony mini disc player that I've found in the last month. This is a cheaper version of the other one that I have. The other one's like an original Sony mini disc player. I'm waiting for a charger for it, but once the charger gets here, if it works and everything's good, it'll sell for like $200. It's like the original. If you guys don't know what mini discs are, it's like some weird media that Sony came out with to like rival CDs, and they're kind of like little floppy discs. I actually have one. I wish I brought it in here to show you guys, but maybe on the next video I'll show you guys my mini disc. I'm pretty proud of it. But it's just it's pretty rare to find here in the States. These were really big in Japan and Europe, so they really took off over there. But here in the States, it just did not happen. I think they stopped making these in 2013, so you can't even get like, you know, new albums on mini disc or anything. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's like a little floppy disk you put in there, and you know, it's like a music album. But I found one of these at a yard sale. It had just the mini disc and it had the box. It didn't have any cords or anything with it. But this runs on battery, so you don't really need, you know, you don't need like a charger or anything. You just throw a regular pair of headphones in there. You can put an AC adapter with this, but put a couple of batteries in there, and you know, you're good to go. So I tested it. I had a mini disc. I bought a mini disc to test my other mini disc player. The mini disc albums are pretty expensive, even for just like a no-name album could be pretty expensive. I think the one I bought was like Billy Joel, and I bought it for like $20 or something. So I have it. It's funny because I told my wife, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to put this mini disc in with the other mini disc to make it like look like a nicer lot. And she's like, oh, maybe you should hang on to it just in case you find another one. And these are pretty rare. And I was like, well, what's the chances I'll find another one of these? And sure enough, we were garage sailing this weekend, and there it was sitting on the table. I picked up this box that said mini disc. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is here. And I got this for like $1. The guy was like, well, what do you want for this? He's like, $1. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So I got this for $1. Posted it, and it was sold within like 12 hours for $44.95 plus shipping. So be on the lookout for these. I think they're, you know, they're pretty rare, but apparently I've done pretty good finding them. I found 2 in the last month. So hopefully we'll get the charger for the other one, and it'll work great, and I'll be able to post that for about $200. All right, another Monopoly game, again sealed. $2 into this, sold for $9.95 plus shipping. So some of them sell. The Rudolph one sold for $27.95. This one's for like $10. The cat one I sold already, it's like $10 too. So not a whole lot of profit on this, but again, it's a Monopoly game, sealed. What could go wrong? All right, a game to kind of be looking out for. I didn't realize that this game was valuable. I picked this up from a yard sale. The guy had a box with an Xbox 360, 2 controllers, and about 9 games in there. And he wanted $30, and I said, hey man, you know, I'll give you 10 for it. He was like, well, how about 15? And I said, okay, that's fine. So I got an Xbox 360 console, 2 controllers, and like 9 games. This was one of the games in there, and I already have this game. So I was like, well, I'm just going to sell this, even if it sells for a couple of bucks. I mean, I might as well sell it again. Feedback builder for me. But to my surprise, this game was worth $11.95 plus shipping, and that's what we got for it. And it sold within like 2 hours. So be on the lookout for this. I guess Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if the other Modern Warfares have value, but this particular one did. So this is on Xbox 360. So pretty quick flip, and I made essentially most of the money back that I paid for the whole box of Xbox stuff. So not too bad. All right, not much to say about this. Another Wii Sports game. I've flipped about 10 of these so far. This one did not have like the sleeve that goes with it. Just had the manual in the disc. So I didn't sell it. My normal asking price for this is like $10.95 plus shipping. So I sold this one for $8.95 since it didn't have the whole complete thing, and it sold within a couple of weeks for $8.95, and I got about $1 into this, so not too bad. All right, I liked this TV. I picked this TV up at the yard sales this weekend for, I think I paid $10 for this. Paid $10 for this. I really liked this TV. It's, it's not, I think it's 19-inch or something like that, but it has like a DVD player built into the side. It's like an HD TV, got a bunch of different, plugs, plug-in places for it. So it was just a really nice TV. Came with a controller, good for like a bedroom or something, a dorm room or something. Again, it has a little DVD player built in there. So it showed that it worked, and it was just super clean. Paid $10 for it, sold it very quickly for $44.95 plus shipping. Guy sent me a message, said it was, some guy in Florida bought it. He was like, "Oh, this is for an old lady at a nursing home. She loves TV. She loves remotes." So I was looking for something for a room. I said, "This is perfect." I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Nice little, it's going to a nice home, so that's good." All right, guys, the very last thing, I know this is kind of a lengthy video, but I think I got through it pretty quickly. But here we are at the very last thing. This is just a JVC controller. Paid $1 for this at St. Vincent de Paul. And we got $17.95 plus shipping for just the remote. And this is kind of how you do it. Take front, back, and then you always open that battery case up. Show that there's no corrosion or rust or anything in there. So, yep, that sold within like 2 weeks. Took about 2 weeks to sell this. Bought it for $1, sold it for $17.95. So, alright guys, that is the end of this video. Thanks again for all those who have watched, subscribed, commented. I plan on doing some other, I know later this week I'm going to do like an August recap video once my wife, she's out of town for work for a couple of days, but once she comes back, we're going to go over the numbers for what we did on August. I want to kind of let you guys know what my goals were for August, what we actually did in August, what item I profited the most from, which one I didn't profit the most from, how much I sold kind of in each category, just kind of breaking down how August went for me. Again, I'm a new seller, so these are things that I'm trying to keep a track of, especially early on, like, where I'm growing, where I'm selling the most, where I'm not doing so great, and I want to share that stuff with you guys so you guys can kind of be on the lookout for things or what categories to sell in and how I'm going about it and stuff. So hopefully you guys get some enjoyment out of that. But that'll be coming up here in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. And like I said, I'll do one of these like pickup videos like once a week, usually on Monday or Tuesday. I'll have enough stuff accrued to show you guys a decent pickup video. So again, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and good luck out there when you're